And welcome into Simply the Bets. Glenn and Griffin with you. It's all brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Coming up a little bit later on, we're going to head into the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, where our guy Leon Twyman will be standing by. I believe a little bit later on this week, you're going to be seeing some video that Griffin and I shot yesterday down at the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, sort of laying out the future. I said the future, laying out a future, a little side bet we might be making. We got ourselves into a bit of hot water that required some cold water during our trip to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Follow them on social, Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, and you'll be finding out more about it. I believe we're going to start telling you more about it later on this week. So had a good time down there yesterday hanging out with that crew. We kick things off this week as we typically do, but this time from parts unknown. I'm not sure where this man is joining us from because he's no longer with his previous employer. I am to understand he has a new employer. I'm hoping it's as an executive producer of that 90s show, which is coming to Netflix in January, because I'm very nervous about it. There's a trailer out today. We're going to find out right now, where is Aaron Oster coming to us from? Aaron Oster, good morning, sir. Where in the world is Aaron Oster?
Well, first off, you're dropping news. I had not heard about that 90s show trailer, and I might have to check
I'm sorry.
that out.
Griffin
right
did the
after.
thing where he hit the button where he shouldn't have hit the button. Like, hang on a second. Let me get Aaron straightened away. Everything was fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's try one more time. Aaron, do you hear everything okay?
I think so.
Nope. We got to try one more time to fix it. This is not on you, Aaron. I promise. It's on us. We have a cord problem that we're dealing with, and we're also working on a couple of other things, but we have a third problem where this has always exist. There's this, like, the board. I'm being too Aaron, are you there?
I think so.
Okay,
maybe.
Thank you.
Third time's a charm.
You didn't know they were doing that 90s show? It was a big story.
No, I knew they were doing it.
Okay.
No. I knew they were doing it. I just didn't know that they had dropped a trailer.
Yes, they've dropped a trailer, but it doesn't give much away. It's got it's got music playing in the background, right? Like, so it's not. You don't learn a ton from the trailer.
Okay.
But, Red's back and Kitty's back, so that's kind of all that matters to me.
Well, I knew that, and I knew it's Eric's son.
Right.
Or daughter.
I believe that's
whatever.
the story.
Kid.
Yes, I believe that's the story.
Yeah.
All right. That's not what you're doing, however. You have a new job.
No.
Tell us about it.
Yes, I am the new media relations and marketing manager over at Circa Sports. I worked in the Circa building out here in Vegas for the past 2 years, and I'm moving upstairs now, moving from Beeson to working for Circa Sports and the Circa Sports Sportsbook.
Well, that's excellent.
So,
what does that
I'll be
mean?
doing that.
What is it? How do I stand to benefit from this is the real question, Aaron.
Well, clearly, I have the ability to comp alcohol now.
Ooh, well, that is good news, except I don't really drink any longer,
Yeah.
so that's not really all that
Well,
helpful. Yeah, not really all that helpful. So what you're telling me is that this doesn't really impact me in much of any way whatsoever.
Yeah, not really.
Thanks for being a
Not
selfish
yours.
jerk. Thanks for worrying
That's
about
right.
you and your family. God, what the hell is that all about? Congratulations, pal. It sounds wonderful. But you'll still be joining us every Tuesday in order to offer us the 5 L's of sports betting, correct?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, that's
Absolutely.
all that matters. Do you want to? We'll get to the plugs for Circa Sports coming up a little bit later on, as we typically do. Aaron, a week ago, pretty good. Like Aaron, I did play the under in the Ravens-Jaguars game.
I mean, come on.
That was crushing. In the third quarter, I was chatting with my producer over at 105.7 The Fan, and he's like, how you doing today? I'm like, dude, I'm looking great. I had, as always, the Ravens scoring first and winning outright. I had Lamar Jackson rushing over 40 yards and the Ravens winning. I had the under and the Ravens winning outright. I had about 6 different plays that were all looking swell for me in the third quarter. Even into the fourth quarter, I was still feeling good.
Yeah.
Taking a couple days off.
Yeah.
Taking a couple of days off after what was a rough Sunday for your friend Glenn. Anyway, you did have a couple other things that went well. I was nervous about Justin Jefferson, but you were 100% right. Heck of a long shot bet. Alternate number of 125-plus yards. He finishes with 139. That hit at plus 880. That would be a really nice payoff on a $10 or $20 bet if you had played it. and your love, Kansas State covering the 11.5 over Kansas. I also played that on Saturday night as well, but it didn't make up for a few parlays that I had played earlier in the day where Clemson and LSU both cost me significantly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it saved me a little bit of face on Saturday night, but not all. Thanksgiving, if you had talked to me Friday morning, the mobile sport betting is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Saturday and Sunday, not so much. Other good news for Aaron. Officially, Utah finishes over 8.5 wins. He had played that one back in June. And Air Force also officially finishes over 8.5 wins. He had played that back in August. Now, a couple other ones that are at stake this week. He told you not to bet Clemson to win the ACC and not to bet Georgia to win the SEC.
Not feeling good about that Georgia one.
Not so great. Not so great. However, you also had Kansas State as a plus 1,400 long shot to win the Big 12. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could, and it would be very good. And then
they're under a field goal underdog. So,
but TCU was also like undervalued last week. Because TCU's been undervalued the last couple of weeks. Like there is a serious disrespect that's been shown to TCU, and I don't know. I mean, Kansas State could beat TCU, but it's just sort of weird. Like there has been a real disrespect in lines when it comes to TCU.
Yeah.
And then you also had UCF winning the American. So thankfully to you still get a crack there, and maybe with Willie Fritz slated to leave Tulane, that will make them not be as inspired in the AAC championship game against UCF. So we will see. Now, let's get into it. 5 L's for this week. We begin locally. What you got?
I'm not playing the Ravens game. I hate everything about that game this week. Against the Broncos, Ravens are minus 8.5, under 38.5. Those lines feel kind of right on. I could see that going either direction on the spread. If you gun to my head, I'd take the under, but 38.5 is so low. I don't particularly love that. So I'm off of the Ravens this week. However, Maryland basketball plays tonight.
That is true, against a very bad Louisville team.
A very bad Louisville team. They're 0-6. They've lost at home to Bellarmine, Wright State, and App State, and they lost on neutral courts by 26 to Arkansas, 32 to Texas Tech, and 19 to Cincinnati. As you said, this team is bad. Maryland is a 12.5-point favorite, and one of the things I love about the potential about Maryland this season is Willard's attitude towards the end of the game. After one of his early wins, Willard kind of took the podium and he was like, that sucked at the end of the game. We were up by 25. We only won by 18, and that's going to hurt our KenPom numbers. The fact that he's thinking about that, the fact that he's not going to go easy at the end of the game, makes me more inclined to lay numbers with coaches like that. And that's something you have to do in college basketball, just know how they play the end of the game when they're laying a big number. So as opposed to some other coaches, I'm a little bit more inclined to lay a 12.5. And by the way, it's worth noting, Willard, he's a former Louisville assistant. He was a candidate for this job at one point. I don't think he's planning on going in and taking this easy. The only thing that even has me a little bit hesitant is that this is a kind of a kitchen sink game for Louisville. But I just think Maryland's better. I have no problem laying the 12.5. So give me Maryland minus 12.5.
I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. This is the first true road game for Maryland, and for as bad as Louisville is, that's still a really good college basketball market. I expect there still to be a crowd down there. They were on board with the hiring of Kenny Payne. It was the guy that they wanted, and there's just frankly not a lot of other things to do in Louisville.
Sure.
So I still think there's going to be a tough atmosphere despite how bad they are. That's the one thing. Like I'm a little still apprehensive about. This isn't like going to Miami, right, where like nobody would show up for a bad team. This is still a place where they care desperately about college basketball. So, but I am inclined to agree with you, and I think your point about how Kevin Willard approaches the end of games is relevant. Also, they're not all that deep to begin with. There's not that many players for him to turn to at the end of games. So I'm with you on that. All right, next, give me a futures bet, something long-term that you like.
Now that I look at my 5 Ls, I realize this is an entirely college-based 5 Ls this week. We're sticking with college basketball, and I'm looking at the Wooden Award market, actually. And right now you can find Purdue's Zach Edey to win the Wooden Award at 11-1.
What a monster.
Yeah. If the award was given out today, he'd win it hands down. Not even a question. Top 10s in points per game at 21.7, fourth in rebounds with 12 rebounds per game, and he's doing it against top competition too, as he led the Boilermakers to wins over Duke and Gonzaga. Obviously, it's early, but Purdue suddenly looks like quite possibly the best team in the Big Ten. Didi leading the way with him. He's going to compile numbers all season long. Even if Purdue takes a slight step back, people are going to remember those two games, and he's going to be right at the top. So at 11-1, which, by the way, I believe is the best number you can find at any sports book around. I really like that play. So Zach Edey win the Wooden Award at 11-1.
I can't find it on Fanduel. I don't know where did you find it?
Let me pull it up. I believe it was Player Futures. Let me see. Sorry,
I can't find Player Futures. That's driving me crazy.
It was there. Let's see.
I like
yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
Player Award, NCAA Basketball Player Awards. And actually, oh boy, it moved overnight considerably.
Ooh,
but yeah, that's a tough one.
What is it? What is it now?
He moved to the favorite at plus 700.
All right. I mean, still
little,
plus
little
700.
less inclined, but last night it was 11-1, and I got real excited.
All right, I believe you. I don't know why I can't find it, but I'm going to choose to believe you. Plus 700 for Zach Edey, who's just I remember watching him last year, and I said this to Patrick Stevens earlier. I said he didn't look human to me. Like what in the world are you supposed to do about that if you're an opposing team? And somehow he appears to be better this season. I mean, it's nuts how well he's playing. So I do like that. All right, give me a long shot. Give me your underdog play for the week.
This is a big long shot. It's one that, and I'll just say, it's in the Heisman Award, and Caleb Williams is there. He's the prohibitive favorite right now. But I do wonder if he's too much of a prohibitive favorite. My question basically revolves around this. If USC loses the Pac-12 championship, which they are just a very slight favorite over Utah, USC doesn't make this college football playoff. Does Caleb Williams still win the Heisman?
Yes. I do. Yes.
I think probably here's my scenario. Okay, USC loses. TCU wins. Max Duggan has a big game.
The problem is most of the country doesn't know who Max Duggan is. Like
most of the country doesn't, but I think the Heisman voters do, because especially if USC doesn't make the college football playoff, I do wonder if there's a hesitation to put him in. We've seen that before, where there's been a prohibitive favorite going into the conference championship week. That team loses, and they look for a reason to vote for somebody else, whether or not they do. Here's the thing: Max Duggan, and again, this is a long shot here. He's 20-1 to win the Heisman. I agree it's a long shot. I agree every reason why Caleb Williams probably is going to win this. But if you're looking for a long shot play, when you're talking about USC being only just a slight favorite, TCU being a slight favorite as well, I just don't know if it should be 20-1 for Duggan to win it. It might be worth just a little bit of a sprinkle on there.
Yeah, you and I are going to separate on this one, man. Like I love a good long shot, but I actually think this is insane. Like I think this is the way of saying these numbers kind of prove your theory. If USC loses, Caleb Williams is winning the Heisman, because there's just not another. Max Duggan isn't even necessarily the guy for TCU. Like there isn't another good candidate. I mean, at this point.
He is the second favorite. Like
I understand.
Every article is saying if not Caleb Williams, then who, and the who is generally Max Duggan.
But I think you're one overestimate. I know Heisman voters. They are not people that are inclined to be watching every game every week. I don't know, man. I think Keandre Miller is more qualified from TCU than Max Duggan is, frankly. Like, I get
by
it.
The way,
I understand.
They're not watching every game. Max Duggan leads TCU to an undefeated season.
I understand. Yeah. I don't see it. I think the answer is Caleb Williams, no matter what happens on Saturday. It's a very long shot. You're right about that. All right. Yeah. Let's continue. Aaron Oster is with us from Circa Sports. How about something that you say, do not bet this. This is a loser.
Back to college basketball here. I think the hype has gotten a little bit out of control on Texas. Texas right now is the second favorite to win the national championship at 12-1. I understand why. I think I might have mentioned it on an earlier show that the metrics love Texas coming into the season, and then their win over Gonzaga has solidified that thought. But the love has gotten a little bit out of control in the odds market. They're the second favorite right now. And even if you like Texas, I just think 12-1 is going to end up being a bad number. They have some tough non-conference games coming up against Creighton and Illinois. They will drop a game probably sometime shortly, and if not, Big 12 is a tough road. They'll take a couple lumps. Their number will drop. I think this is just a terrible bet right now. Even if you do happen to like Texas, and there's a lot to like about them, to be fair. But at 12-1, I'm not making this bet at all.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. I think it's way too early. It's so early in the season. There's so much still to learn. I get it. Then give me the one that you say yes, but this one you must make. Give me the bet that you love this week.
Going back to college football, and I don't normally like laying over 2 touchdowns in any game, but Michigan's laying just 16.5 against Purdue. This is an exception. This game, I think, is a total mismatch. I think this true line should be closer to 3 touchdowns, and the neutral field nature simply lowering this. But even though the game's in Indiana, I fully expect the stadium to be full of maize and blue.
Yeah, it won't be
I
close.
think it's going to be a home field advantage for Michigan, and I'm treating it as such. So I have no problem laying 16.5 with Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, somebody would say, hey, remember they struggled against Maryland, right? Like somebody might bring up that it's not Michigan hasn't rolled past everyone this season, but I get it. They've got a job to do. Although again, that is the tricky part about this. I don't even know that it matters if they lose, right? Like it's like we talked about. There are 3 teams that are in no matter what this weekend. This is the worst championship weekend maybe in the history of college football. And this is, as I said yesterday, proof of why the Big Ten is getting away with divisions, because in the future world, they'll just be able to run back Michigan, Ohio State again this week. And I don't know why we'd expect things to be different, but it would be far more appealing than Michigan, Purdue, which stinks on ice. It is just not worthy of a big game this weekend. So, and irrelevant too. Like Purdue could win the Big Ten, and what will it matter? Michigan will still be in the college football playoff, and they'll have.
Purdue still, I guess Purdue would go to the Rose Bowl instead.
That would be significant
that's
for
the only thing
them.
that would
Yes,
change.
that would be significant, and I guess like that. Yeah, there is still some. Does the Rose Bowl have to take the Big Ten champion?
Yes, I think if the Big Ten champion is not in the college football playoff,
if they had the choice, I'm gonna guess they would go ahead and still choose Ohio State.
Oh yeah, no. I think they have to. If the Big Ten champion, exactly.
Then obviously they'll take Purdue. All right, very good. At the A Osters, of course, is how you follow them on Twitter. And then what do we need to know about Circa Sports?
Look, if you're in Maryland, of course you go to Maryland Live, you go to the Fanduel Sportsbook here. But if you are in Vegas and you are a sports fan and you want to watch sports and you're going anywhere besides the Circa Resort, you're crazy. It's the biggest sports book in the world, a 3-story, beautiful sports book with obviously the Circa Sports Book itself, which has some of the best lines in Vegas. And then, of course, we also have the world-famous Stadium Swim. 6 pools, all heated, all open all year long, with a giant TV showing nothing but sports. If you're a sports fan, you're not coming to Circa. You're doing Vegas wrong.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, buddy. Congratulations. Happy for you. We will talk again next Tuesday. Thank you as always, my friends.
All right. Hope everyone hits their bets.
It's Aaron Oster from the Circa out in Vegas. Might need to make a field trip out that way. Of course, when you got a bod like mine, you got to show it off at the Circa Swim. You got to make sure everybody's able to breathe in all of this. Looking forward to that. All right, when we come back in, we will chat with our buddy Leon Twyman. He is the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Getting ready for a big day, big soccer match. We'll talk about that next. This is Simply the Bets.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Experience the best in Kamado Grilling, a complete outdoor cooking appliance. The Ginsu Kamado Grill allows anyone to sear, grill, bake, and smoke all types of food. Designed for efficiency and function, the Ginsu Kamado Grill upholds the enduring legacy of the iconic Ginsu brand. The Ginsu Kamado Grill is perfect to cook all year round, is great for parties, and ideal for tailgating with your friends. Reserve your Ginsu Kamado Grill today at ginsugrills.com and get $100 off on your pre-order when you use the promo code tailgate. That's ginsugrills.com. Reserve yours today.
UMBC basketball is back at Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena, and tickets are available now at umbcretrievers.com. Don't miss any of the great early season matchups as the men take on local rivals Coppin State on November 30th and Morgan State on December 10th, while the women square off with American on December 18th. Experience the excitement of game day at the Peak by getting your tickets right now to come see the Retrievers at Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena. Lock yours in at umbcretrievers.com.
Another Orioles season is in the books, and the Bat-Around was there every step of the way as the Birds posted their first winning season in 6 years. And after promoting 2 #1 overall prospects in Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson, Mike Elias has said it's liftoff from here. Hi, I'm Paul Valley, and along with my co-host Zach Goodman, we'll be here every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon all off season, discussing every signing, trade, and waiver claim as we navigate the cold winter months that lead to spring training. You can watch us at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline and Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, or listen live at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. And if you miss a show, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. So tune into the Bat-Around with Paul Valley and Zach Goodman every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon right here at PressBox Sports.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, the Costas Inn. And everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn, over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
If you can't listen or watch live, you can subscribe to the show via Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review while you're there. Or, if lying isn't your thing, we'll take a 3.5-star review too.
A couple of things for the World Cup this afternoon. One, USA, minus 105 favorites. Iran, plus 310. The draw sits at plus 240 at the moment. Fanduel is offering a World Cup odds boost. The U.S. to score 2 or more goals was plus 135, now plus 200. If that interests you, big day, must win for the U.S. as they take on Iran in the World Cup. Should be a great crowd in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. And let's head there right now where our friend, general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook, Mr. Leon Twyman, is standing by. Leon, good afternoon, sir. Thank you, as always, taking the time for us. Good to see you yesterday.
Yes, for sure. How's it going?
Everything is going well. I know we've talked about the World Cup a lot. What did it look like Friday afternoon for the USA-England match in the Fanduel Sportsbook?
It was great. We had whenever USA plays, we always have a big turnout. So we'll have a big turnout today as well. But last week was definitely a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, that probably was the game of the century of the year or whatever you want to call it. Great opportunity for everybody to get out today. Of course, 2 o'clock, if you want to come hang out in the Fanduel Sportsbook and watch the U.S. bet on the U.S. against Iran. As always, busy, very busy sports weekend. How was it for the book?
It wasn't too bad. Despite mobile taking a lot of retail away, it was still very good for us.
What were the winners for you guys this weekend?
Well,
yeah, the Ravens. You're gonna say it. I know. Yeah.
Oh man, it was that's just depressing for everyone. That's a Ravens fan.
FanDuel made a good amount of money off your pal Glenn this weekend because of the Ravens. About 5 different scenarios that your friend jumped on, and they were all losers. So it was a good weekend for FanDuel. Not a great weekend for old GC. Not the best weekend that GC has had. I don't know if you saw, but I saw a stat floating around that This weekend in the NFL, the 3 most bet favorites by cash dollars, the 3 most bet favorites by number of tickets, the 3 most bet overs, and the 3 most bet unders. Of those 12 different scenarios, one of them was a winner this weekend.
Wow.
One of them proved to be a winner. So, yeah, it seems like it probably would have been a good weekend for the books. Anything that stood out to you? Any particular notable bets that jumped out at you from the week?
Nothing too crazy really stood out. We didn't have a lot of large wagers. I believe our largest wager we had was $10,000 on Ravens, which obviously lost. But that was the biggest bet we had when it came to NFL. And we did have a lot of people betting USA versus England for USA to win. So we actually ended up winning with that as well, just because obviously it ended with a tie and everyone's betting the 3-way. Because if you bet the draw no bet, that is just the juice on that is way too much. So we had a lot of people bet the 3-way on that. They ended up losing. And then we had a lot of people on Ohio State.
Makes sense. I mean, look, I get it. I put in a ticket on Ohio State. I thought, the line being as big as it was like, man, I know they want you to bet on Michigan, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. Yeah, again, not everything. On Friday, if you and I had talked on Friday, I would have been talking about how I had robbed you blind, how you weren't getting a Christmas bonus this year. I would have been going on a statement cover drive from the Giants against the Cowboys on Thursday. Chef's kiss.
That was just so last minute too. That drove me crazy.
Beautiful. It was beautiful, is what it was. But yeah.
But they still won. So
yeah, I know that's all that matters. That's as a fan, that's all that matters to you. As a man who bet on the Giants, there was only one thing that mattered to me, and that was a brilliant cover drive put together by the Giants in the closing seconds. On Friday, I was a very happy camper. Today, I'm on my second day off. I'm still licking my wounds, and we'll see when I get back into the. As I say that, it's totally possible I put some action in on the soccer match this afternoon. But yeah, it was a tough couple of days. Leon Twyman is with us. He's the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook. Leon, remind everybody, because we talked about it for a couple of weeks, but now that you've seen it in action, how you guys are able to incorporate mobile betting with the experience. So for everybody who's like, yeah, I mean, I could come out today, but I could just bet from my phone at home now. Why do I come out? Well, it's because of the atmosphere. It's because of what you get today. If the U.S. scores a goal in minute number 24, you're just going to feel something unlike what you could feel anywhere else. Plus, there's the great food at Sports and Social, and you guys truly have found a way to incorporate mobile betting with what you're doing there at retail.
Yes. So with that, patrons are able to come in. They can either withdraw from their mobile app or they can deposit to their mobile app. And, you would think that because mobile does make it a lot more convenient for people to kind of just stay at home and just upload funds or withdraw funds to their banking account or PayPal or however they choose, we actually get a lot of people that come in. We get a lot of cash at counter transactions. And when everyone comes in, they end up hanging out in Sports and Social, because where else are you going to go and watch these events? It's the way you can watch it in Sports and Social. I was actually just chatting with someone yesterday, and he said, you know what? He was like, I will bet on my mobile because I have won more money on my mobile than trying to wait in line at a kiosk.
Sure.
But I will set in Sports and Social and watch it while I'm betting because I'm not going to get this experience anywhere else.
Makes all the sense in the world, man. I keep trying to explain it to people. If you've not, for big events in particular, I mean, any event, it's great, but for big events in particular, there is just nothing like the feeling in the sportsbook of living and dying with everyone else. Somebody said, well, I can go to a bar and do that. Like, no, because it's not. Everybody's not only rooting for something, but they've bet on it now. And so the individual things that everybody is living and dying with in the moment, like the reaction to some odd play because you realize, like, oh, my God, it's a basketball game, and now they're worried about whether or not the spread's going to hit. Like, it's electric. Every play of every game means a little bit more when you're hanging out in the FanDuel Sportsbook, and I would encourage you, plus the ability to incorporate it with mobile betting. It's really the best of all worlds. Anything that we should know about as far as other offers that are going on, other things that are on the radar. Are you guys are you showing the Tyson Fury fight on Saturday?
Yes, we will have the Tyson Fury fight.
Okay.
So we will have that, but something fun took a little long to get here, but we finally got it in today, and they're putting it up so we can get it ready. Hopefully we can have it ready before 2 o'clock before USA kicks off. But we have RoboKeeper at Maryland Live.
Nice. So you can
so
try.
that finally arrived.
Take your chance at scoring a penalty shot today as you're in soccer fever. That's awesome. I love everything about that.
So there's some promos with that.
Okay.
So, you can take your shot at $5,000. So you can sign up on the Maryland Live Casino website, and you can sign up to participate in it. And everyone who participates gets a $25 free bet for any sport. But if you can score on that RoboKeeper, you have a chance to win $5,000.
Whoa, that is a big deal, man. You have to be a Live Rewards member in order to sign up.
Correct. You do have to be a Live Rewards member to sign up for that.
So make sure you're signed up for Live Rewards. You can do that very easily. That's a really cool opportunity for you to win some money and have some fun trying your hands on RoboKeeper. I wish that would have been there yesterday. I wish Griffin and I are a little bit bitter that we didn't get a shot. Might have to wander back down to take a stand.
Yes, when I ran into you, I was actually just leaving from that area and sending some things out. So yes, it was exciting.
All right, very good. Leon Twyman, General Manager, Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Appreciate you, brother. We'll talk again next Tuesday, all right?
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Leon Twyman checking in with us here on Simply the Bets. All right, time for a tidbit of the week. Griffin just sort of compiles some interesting notes from sports betting over the course of the week. Put some all together. Griffin, what do you have for us this week?
Had one that I was watching that just actually lost because of the Ecuador-Senegal game. They had $1,500 on a 6-leg World Cup parlay.
Yeah.
And it would have paid $366,000.
Just think about what they could have cashed out for.
It was a 250-1. So they had Spain and Germany a draw on Sunday, Cameroon-Serbia draw yesterday, Brazil to beat Switzerland yesterday. And then they had Ecuador and Senegal to draw. And Senegal obviously won moments ago.
God,
and then they also would have needed the U.S. to beat Iran.
No. But just think about the number that might have been available for you to hit.
Yeah, you got to think about it.
Button.
It was, however, it was a $1,500 free bet though, so they weren't allowed to cash out.
Oh, okay, yeah. No cash out on the free bets.
So no cash out on the free
All
bets.
Right.
Yes. Someone had a 4-legger, $25, and paid out $10K. They had the Chargers to win by 1-6.
Yeah, there actually was a bet that I made last week where I was like, "Why the hell? I just want to cash out. Why can't?" And I just realized it was because of the free bet. Yeah.
Bengals to win by 1-6. Chiefs to win by 13-18. Eagles by 7-12. They all hit.
That. That's quite random.
They all hit. Yes.
Smart.
DraftKings.
What did it hit for?
It was $25. They won 9.5K. 9.5K.
Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good. DraftKings did a promo on Sunday where for every 1 p.m. game to have both teams score a touchdown and a field goal, and it hit. So if you put $50 on it, $5K would have been your payout. And then so my friend, obviously everyone's gambling now in Maryland. He did the same thing, but he played it for every single game in the entire Sunday slate.
Okay.
So he used a free play on that, and it was 386-1. He would have won $10K, but the Saints got shut out. So they did not score a field goal, and both a field goal and a touchdown. FanDuel had a similar one where it wasn't booster or anything, but it was a special that they were doing. Every team in the 1 p.m. window to have a passing touchdown, and it was plus 13,000.
Who failed?
That would be the Titans because Derrick Henry fumbled at the 1 yard line.
That's right, and it was picked up by Traylon Burks. That's right.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Saved FanDuel a lot of money.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
God, that's amazing.
And then someone hit an all underdogs parlay in college football on Saturday. This one was ridiculous. It was 1,500-1. They had no, they didn't hit it. Sorry, it was 1,500-1. They had $65 to win $110K, And it was all underdogs. Nebraska, plus 310. South Carolina, plus 450 over Clemson. West Virginia, plus 275. Michigan over Ohio State. The last leg was Vandy, plus 430 against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Guess what, Glenn?
What?
They cashed out.
Ah, my heroes! What'd they get?
They got $11K. So they could've,
what a day.
They put $65. They came out with $11K.
That feels so much better. It feels like you stole money at that point.
The smile on Glenn's face.
You won on a losing ticket. Do you know how much better that is than winning on a winning ticket? You won on a losing ticket. That is magic right there, my friend.
Another 18-leg college football parlay. I don't know how this one's. This is 11,000. 11,000 to 1. They put $10 and they did win 110K on 18 legs of college. Just a bunch of different college, just over unders. They had some couple big favorites in there, couple underdogs. It was
don't put Clemson in your parlays. Don't do that.
18 legs. They came out with 110K. Someone put $3 on South Carolina to win by 1 to 13 points, and then Michigan to win by 14 plus. It was 644 to 1, so they won $2K off the $3 bet.
That's an insane bet to make, but good for them.
Someone put $750K on Ohio State money line.
Oh no, that wouldn't even paid all that much.
They would have paid $230K.
Yeah,
so they lost $750K.
Oh my god.
Someone has already placed $900,000 on the USC money line in the Pac-12 championship.
It seems unwise.
Minus
I think they're going to win, but God, why?
Minus 130 is
what are you doing there?
As the line, it would pay out $700K if they.
And I do think that USC should win that game, and so the minus 130 seems like a pretty good number to get it at. But boy, 900, the goddamn.
One more cash out. Someone put $5 on the Broncos to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season.
How were they able to get cash out on that?
They cashed out for 4 cents.
Oh, okay. I was like, you didn't lose all $5. You got that going for you.
Yeah, that's a winner in my book.
That's a winner right there.
And then finally, it's still that 7-leg Champions parlay that we talked about already. The guy who needs France to win.
Right, the World Cup.
And he'll win $557K.
Did you get an update on it?
They're on to the round of 16, and he's not cashing out. They're they're doing a bunch of content with him on BR betting. His name is Daniel Forte, and he is pretty.
You know what they say about him? Betting is his.
Is his forte.
Hobby, yes. That's exactly what they say. It's his hobby. He likes doing. Thank you, Griffin. It was delayed, but you helped me out on that one.
It's his forte.
I appreciate it.
No,
it's his hobby. That's what they say. But you did it exactly what I wanted. You nailed exactly what I wanted you to do there. That's how the joke works. We're going to get there, you and I, one of these days. Somebody said to me, it seems like maybe things are coming along with Griffin. I'm like, yeah,
thanks.
In moments, things are coming along with Griffin. We'll get there one of these days. All right. Very good. Thank you, Griffin. Good job on Tidbit of the Week.
Thanks.
Well, Daniel Forte, they say betting is his hobby. Oh, I screwed it up this time. I said hobby. Hobby, yeah.
So I am supposed to say hobby?
No, you're supposed to say
forte.
It's supposed to be obvious that the joke is.
Oh, it's forte.
That's how it works. Like, obviously, I'm trying to get you to say betting is his, and then it's corny and it's a dad joke. But then I swerve and I say it's his hobby, and you're like, oh, right, of course, it's his hobby. All right, you know what? I'm done. I'm trying to share my comedy. I don't have to explain.
No, I get it.
I don't have to explain my art to you, Warren. God, it's my art. It's beautiful. All right. Thank you to Aaron Oster. Thank you to Leon Twyman. No Weekend at Bookies this week. We're just going to go back to we just basically skipped last week, and we're going to go back to the same rotation, so Weekend at Bookies will be back next Thursday. We'll see you next Tuesday morning for the next Simply the Bets. In the meantime, get to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel for every event, including Tyson Fury's fight on Saturday. Reserve your spot. Email events@sportssocialmd.com. May the odds be ever in your favor.